what impact do you see technology having on this generation? Like we said, these students, they don't know a time without, I remember my dad worked for AT&T, and I remember when we got our first computer because he had to log in to do work at home. And I mean, it was big. It sat in, a corner of
Right.
one of our rooms. And,
Right.
I remember we have to stop at payphones when his pager went off because he was on call. And then when he got a cell phone, big old bag. Like, we remember all that. These students don't remember that.
Right.
This is all that they've ever known. So what are your thoughts on that? What's the impact of technology on this generation?
Well, this is one of the things that I really have concerns about today, because I see it in our classroom. I see it in our students. They've connected to social media, and I think that term is ironic because it's not social, and it has taken them away from those personal connections with their parents, with their friends,
Absolutely.
and they are making connections, so to speak, online and on the screen, but that's not a real personal connection. That's not AI, and AI is really doubling down on that. It's has the potential to make it even worse. And I recently watched an interview with a psychologist who was talking about. He said that an AI therapist could be much better than the average therapist. And I'm thinking, I don't think that's a good way to go. I think that's kind of a
No.
dark path.
Yeah.
And we have people that are experimenting with AI chatbots that become your friends and your companions. And I just think we have the potential of going to a very dark place with that. We talk about student engagement. How do we get students to be engaged in their learning? Because I say this to my teachers all the time. You can be a great teacher and you can have the most impactful lesson, and you can deliver it in the most effective, dynamic way in an empty classroom, and nobody's learning, because students learn. We teach, but students have to learn. They have to be engaged, and
Right.
I believe I can take, if I have 15 minutes with a student, one-on-one, with them really engaged and interested and asking questions and responding. And if I can deliver passionately to them a message one-on-one for 15 minutes, that's going to have more impact than a whole week of class time when they're not engaged.
Right.
We've got to figure out how do we make that personal connection and keep it. And we can use technology to help us do that. That's great. But I fear that social media and AI right now, the impact it's having on students is not a good direction.
Enjoyed this short clip? That was just a sneak peek into a full episode on the Teacher Edition podcast. We are passionate about supporting Christian educators like you. Looking for more inspiration and practical strategies you could use today? Subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts.
Brought to you by BJU Press.